Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to use Sony ZV E10 to shoot time-lapse, how to turn it into a video, and finally I'm going to give you an extra tip in how to shoot day to night time-lapse. So let's get started. First, make sure you are in camera mode instead of video mode. Go to your menu, page 3 out of 11, and go to Interval Shoot function. Turn the function from off to on, and then you can set your shooting interval and number of shots. It depends on what you are shooting. For example, if you are shooting some fast-moving clouds, you might want to set the interval to maybe 3 to 5 seconds. And if you are shooting something that is moving slowly, then the interval should be like 15 to 20 seconds. And it also depends on how long you want the time-lapse video to be. If you don't want to do the calculation by yourself, here's a website called Omni Calculator. So you can just type in like how long you want the time-lapse to be and how long the interval you want, and it will calculate everything for you. Next, put your camera on a tripod. Adjust your aperture and other settings to make sure the exposure is correct. Once you finish shooting time-lapse, go to Sony's website to download Sony Imaging Edge. After installing the software, open the viewer. On the left-hand side, you will see some folders to choose from. Import your time-lapse photos. You can use either RAW files or JPEG files. RAW files will take longer time to process. After you import all the images into the viewer, press Ctrl or Command plus A to select all the images. Click Tools, Create Time-Lapse Movie. Something like this will pop out. It's just some simple settings. The only important thing you should set is where you are going to export your video. Click Save, and it will start processing the photos and turn them into a video. If what you are shooting doesn't have a lot of light changes, then I guess it doesn't matter whether you use manual mode or aperture priority mode. But if the light changes a lot, like if we are shooting a day to night time lapse, then the best setting is aperture priority, so that the camera will adjust according to the change of light. Here's an example. The following video was shot in manual mode. You can see that in the last 1 or 2 seconds, you can't see anything except for some very tiny light spots because it's simply too dark. And the following video was shot in aperture priority mode. I only adjusted the aperture and ISO, and I set the ISO to pretty high, about 2000. You can see that it is a little bit brighter than the previous time-lapse. Even though at the end it is still a little bit dark, but we can definitely fix that during post-editing. I know some people would edit day to night time-lapse in Lightroom, but I don't use Lightroom, and I think the process looks a little bit troublesome. So if you're like me, you just want a probably not perfect but decent day to night time-lapse, then you can just use aperture priority mode and then post-edit the video using any apps or software you want. So this is today's tutorial. If you enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up and I'll see you next time. Bye!